Thank you for listening to Pal Block Podcast, the flagship Nintendo podcast of Boss Rush Network. Do you need even more gaming and entertainment in your life? Head over to bossrush.net where you can find news, reviews, creators, podcasts, and more focused around the content you enjoy.
Hello everybody, welcome to Nintendo Power Block here on Boss Rush Network. I'm your host, the enlightened, excited ADV. Joining me is the gallivanting Gallatron himself, Mr. Jacob Taylor.
Hi everybody.
Now Jacob, you know we gotta do this super big when we introduce this guy. You know, we gotta do it right. Because he's not only just a guest returning, he's gonna be a co-host returning to Nintendo Power Block.
And we're excited to have him back.
You know, not only is he my bro him, the other co-founder. He's the boss man, the co-founder. He's the one. The only. Yeah, you see him from Destiny. Because of Tower's Casual. You know him as one of the hosts of Arsenal X. Who we must say is going on a little hiatus at this time. He's also host of Standard Definition and Boss Rush Podcast. And part of the co-hosting of After Dark. If you guys are signed to our Patreon. If not, you might want to join. Got some really good content up there. Everybody. Standing ovation. The one, the only, in the building. Please welcome my bro him, Mr. Corey Derrick. What's up, good sir? Yes.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
What?
Welcome back, Corey.
There's
a round of applause for Corey.
I almost fell asleep during that intro. That was really long.
Well,
What? I
dude,
gotta
you have
hide you.
a lot of pies.
I know.
We've been waiting. You've been so hyped and waiting to come back.
I know. I'm excited to be back. Many people know that I kind of left, what was it, around 219, I think, was the episode that was the last episode that I hosted properly. And, we talked a little bit about it on Expansion Pass this weekend. If you haven't listened to it, it's up on the Pal Block feed. But the day that show ended, I felt like that was like my biggest regret out of everything that we've ever, like, I'm not saying like we've done everything perfect, right? Like, I think we've done a lot of great things, and, you know, selfishly, I guess is what I'm saying, is like, that was like my biggest regret and like one of the saddest decisions I've ever made, you know, because I felt like it was what was best for the team and Boss Rush moving forward. And we had a lot of moving parts and a lot of shows, and Arsenal X needed a host, right? And so I went to help Jesse build that back up, and, you know, Stoy joined us over there and everything. And the last couple weeks, it's actually Celeste's fault. I'm gonna blame Celeste. We had a little like feedback thing in our Discord, right, where we kind of left feedback. People had left feedback for us one way or another, and we were kind of chatting about that, and Celeste left a bunch of questions in the Discord, like, you know, why are you here? Why are you a part of Boss Rush? Do you enjoy, you know, those kinds of like simple questions, but like they're supposed to be simple, right? And I read them, and I'm like, I don't know if I can really answer these questions, you know, like in a way that I feel positive about it. So I literally sat that night that she left those questions, and I was like, I kind of switched some of them around, like, what would make me happy, you know, selfishly, right? I mean, this is all kind of selfishly, and for better or for worse, whatever. And I sat there and I'm like, what podcasts do you, and then Stoy chimed in with one. He's like, what shows do you, pick 3 things you want to be a part of. So I took that in accountability. And I said, Nintendo Power Block was the only thing that came out naturally, right? Like instantly. And so the last like 2 weeks, I mean, Ed knows, LaRon knows. I've been like scrambling to like reschedule everything so I could be back and on the show that I mean, Ed, we started 7 years ago at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
June, what was it? June 6th, I think, 2016. We started.
I think I think it was close to E3 or after E3.
It was right. It was right before E3.
Yeah, because we started talking about the Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, and that's all we talked about for 4 episodes.
Yeah.
And I don't even think we knew it was called. Did we know it was called Breath of the Wild? No, that was when they revealed the name of Breath of the Wild. Was that
Yeah.
E3?
Yeah.
And I kind of watched some of those old episodes. They're really bad, but the heart is there. And if I was being truthful to myself, like my heart, like, so like Ed mentioned, Arsenal X is going on a little hiatus, you know, because we want to have an Xbox team that can do like that really has the passion for Xbox the way that we all have passion for Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
And it just wouldn't, it like, I felt like we were doing a good job, but in my heart, I felt like I was well, you know, it was a half-baked podcast. You got to watch my mouth on the show. I'm sorry. And so I talked to Ed. I was like, Ed, I really want to come back to Pal Block. And like, I don't want to like take over host again, right? Because like, I mean, that era is over, right? I just want to be with you and Jacob and Dan and whoever else is on the show talking about the things that brought us together and the things that we love the most. And that is these stupid devices right here, right? That brought us together and the things that we love. And I mean, I really like had a hard time with it because I was like, I know it's not like our show anymore, but it's still our show. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
and Jacob is like, I have nothing but great things to say about Jacob. Like, you know, like I never do, or I don't ever have anything bad to say about Jacob or Dan, really. You know, I mean, I'm just like, I want to be back on the show. Do you think you guys have a spot for me? Like I was, and I know
absolutely it's not. Get off.
This is the crazy thing, Jacob. I told Corey, I'm like, yes, come back. The seat is always open. Like, welcome back. I always tell Corey that whenever you want to come back, the door is there. Come back. Like we will welcome you with open arms.
I'm just one of those people who overthinks everything, you know. And I'm like, well, what if I come back and like, what if Jacob and Dan have like this weird thing? Not that they would, but like, what if they have this weird thing of like, oh, he's just gonna come back and steal the show again? I'm like, no, I don't want that. You know, I just want to, and that's why I put it in the Facebook or in the Discord channel, right? Like, look, guys, I really sat down and had a heart to heart with myself. I want to come back, and then, you know, here we are, and I'm back, and I'm excited. I'm really excited for the future of us as a unit, the Pal Block team, content, expansion pass, all that stuff, you know. And I'm just really happy that I get to be back talking Nintendo.
Are you happy to be Elite Block agent?
I mean, I have a shirt designed for Elite Block agents.
Yes.
So, you know, I mean, with episode 300 coming up, like 300 episodes is a huge deal. You know,
very huge deal. Yeah.
And I'm just really excited to be back where I feel like mentally I belong. You know, and I don't know what else to say. I'm like kind of excited and kind of nervous to be here, which is weird to say because you know what I mean. Like it's weird, but it's not weird. But it's weird.
Once we get the things rolling and we back to that flow, it's gonna be like that nervousness go.
I mean, when we did the direct recap show, Ed, and like we did an expansion, or no, we did that episode when everybody had off for Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
we did an episode the week before so we had a show for that week. And even Celeste said something, or was it Celeste or was it no? It was Stephanie. She texted me. She's like, that episode you did with Ed just felt like you guys had been podcasting forever. I'm like, well,
we have
kinda, yeah. So, and like that plus like the questions that Celeste had and what Stoy said to me, which Stoy's now part of Crossroads. Side tangent on what do you call it? Programming notes, I guess you would call it. Crossroads is absorbing Stoy, and there's going to be some Xbox content on Crossroads now. Just so we have, because we still have an Xbox audience. It's small, but we still have one. And I don't want to take anything away from that. But at the same time, like, we'll bring Arsenal X back when we have an Xbox team that's super passionate. But for now, my focus is going to be on the Boss Rush podcast and this show and the supplemental shows that go along with them, and expanding into other content. So,
all right.
But I'm really happy to be here.
Well, before we get into Snacktendo and everything else, Jacob, how was your weekend?
My weekend was okay, I guess. I got sleep. I don't know if I mentioned this last time or not, but for the past like 2 to 3 weeks, I'd only been getting about 2 hours of sleep a night.
No.
And then this weekend on Saturday, I went to bed at like 11 on Friday, and then I woke up at noon. So that was really nice. Yeah, I had nothing to do, so I just woke up super late. I finished Witchwood, which I'll talk more about that in Playing with Power. Yep. But then other than that, not really a whole lot going on. I kind of cleaned, just did, light chores around the house, relaxed. It was a good weekend. How about yourself, Ed?
For me, I dig more into some Horizon Forbidden West, like working on that. I did play some Nintendo stuff. I actually hooked up my Switch because I unhooked it so I could play some Series X and PlayStation games for a bit. But I did hook up my my Nintendo Switch. Besides like playing some of those games and everything, of course recording with Corey, talking about the future of Nintendo. I pretty much, at work, my store manager was gone for a week and a half, and so people got nervous to be like, "Well, you don't have a store manager. How are you guys gonna run the store?" We actually ran the store like real quick and real smooth. Like we didn't have no problems or anything. So
that's because you're store manager material, Ed.
I know, but it's like. It's kind of weird when you're put into the role of like you are literally over the store. I'm over the store when I go at night and everything, but when you have to literally be over the store, that's like it's not pressure or anything, but that is a big deal because like if I ever get transferred to another thing, you'd be like, you are the store manager. I am prepared, hopefully, to run it and everything. And a lot of people a lot of associates who close with me, they love closing with me because I'm so easygoing. If they need to stay over to catch some stuff up, I'm willing to stay over and help and everything. So that's kind of been it. And then watching the Pokemon Presents, which we'll get into Family News. I love all 3 starters. I really do. And
I want to play through the whole game as Donald Duck.
Dude, yeah, right?
That duck looks like something straight out of the new DuckTales cartoon.
Shout out to GeekBro27, Jack. We was in a writer's chat and he posted a picture of the fire Pokemon looking like Bobble from Bubble Bobble, and I lost it.
Yep. It sounds about right.
Like, yeah.
It looks like one of those things.
It does. I was just like, I can't. I'm like, first of all, who knows about Bubble Bobble? Because that is my game. I love Bubble Bobble. So when he posted the picture, I fell out laughing. I'm like, Jack just laughed, made my day. So shout out to you, Geek Bro 27.
Everybody
but-
likes Jack, it turns out. Who knew?
Yeah.
He's a nice fellow.
Yeah. But that's my weekend. Corey, how was your weekend?
It was good. I actually got to play some games. So what do we do? Oh, my parents came over on Saturday to see the kids, and we just kind of hung out and did whatever. And then Sunday, I got a haircut. You know, what's left of my hair, and then I taught my nephew. I showed my nephew Destiny for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And he is now a kindergarten, as we say.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, dude! So, what I liked about that was like I've never seen someone so excited. Like I've seen someone so excited for games, but I mean, like, I remember being that excited for my first quote unquote big kid game, which was GoldenEye. I think was my first like big kid game. You know, and he's 9, you know, he's like kind of at that age where he's almost too old to play little kid games, but he's too young to play the big kid games. And like the deal was that he could play Destiny if I would play with him. And so we kind of ran through the first mission. He downloaded the trial of the first one. And I told him just to go ahead and download the second one, like the trial for the second one while we went through this first mission, and he chose a warlock, and like we just went through the first mission together, and he thought it was like the coolest game he's ever played. Which, I mean, at that point, when you live on Fortnite and Minecraft and like Roblox and whatever else the kids are playing these days, like, Destiny is totally different than all of those games. So
yeah, but I have a question.
Yeah.
Why would you let him go down the wrong path?
I told him, I was like, I would not pick a warlock. I would choose a Titan or a hunter. I'm a Titan. I feel like you would play better as a hunter. But he picked a warlock because he liked the robes and he liked the little orb that the warlock holds in the character screen.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And he made
Titan is the only class.
And like it was funny when we went upstairs and I was getting ready to leave, he was like screaming at the top of his lungs. He's like, "Mom, I'm a robot and I fighting aliens, and there was a big 4-armed alien, and I got a spaceship, and I got to go meet all these cool characters in this giant building, and we were in Russia. It was cool." I was like, oh my gosh. He like at the top of his lungs, man.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, like I miss the days where I was like allowed to be that excited for games.
You're always allowed to be that excited for games, man.
I know, but I can't be that loud because somebody will wake up or someone will start crying or my wife will tell me to shut up. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's fine.
Unless you're in the car and me and you are talking and we just get excited.
It's true.
But the announcements.
I can yell in my car. So
yep.
That's like our new Monday routine is I call Ed on my way home and we just scream about video games. It's funny.
Yes, that is true. I literally, Corey, because sometimes I'll be at work and Corey is like calling me, and I'll sneak away into the back, and literally for that time being, don't care who is calling me at work, I'm talking to Corey.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is our bonding time.
Yeah,
right here.
I like call Ed and he's at work. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, Mom, I want to talk games. I'm like, you're working. What are you doing?
Oh my goodness gracious!
I'm gonna get Ed fired.
I'm in the back eating some Reese's Pieces or some kind of snack or some McDonald's or whatever, or drinking a pop, and Corey will call me. I'm like, I'm going to take my 15-minute break and we're going to talk till you get home.
It's true. That is true.
But everybody, before we get into Snacktendo, we kind of have a special announcement, and I'm going to hand this portion over to Gatachat. So, Jacob, go ahead and tell us, what's up?
Absolutely. So for those of you listening to the live show and for those of you listening to the recorded show, we're announcing a special giveaway for listeners of Pal Block Podcast. When the show goes live on Wednesday, March 2nd, there will be a pinned tweet on the Boss Rush Network Twitter account. We're going to have you comment a secret code to earn an entry into a giveaway for Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Be sure to continue listening to this episode to find out what this week's code is, and listen to the next 2 episodes as well for extra entries into the giveaway.
Yes. So everybody, be ready. Be ready.
Be ready.
It's gonna be a mouthful mode.
Oh God, no.
No.
I hate that mode so much.
No.
But everybody, let's get into Snacktendo. Wait, what have you been snacking on? Because when you sent me that picture, I was already just like, ooh, I already know what this holiness is right there.
You mean from dinner the other night?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, so the only burrito place I will go now is Casa del Rio Express. It's this little place down the road from my house. It's just like, I've been so disappointed in Chipotle for so long. And every time we decide to go to Chipotle, it's always disappointing. So we go to Casa del Rio, and it's way better. So I got a burrito. Got that chorizo chicken. Got those grilled onions and jalapenos. Got that pico. Got that Mexican rice. Got that habanero salsa. Got 3 different kinds of cheeses on there. You roll it up, it gives you a big fat burrito. And let me tell you, these things get bigger every week.
Oh, this one was. I didn't see how it looked, but when I seen the picture with the burrito on the plate, I was just like, "Oh, that's a fatty."
That picture I sent you,
gosh.
that's on a 12-inch plate.
That's insane.
And it hangs off both ends, and it's fat.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna have to send this to me after the show, because now I'm just like, what am I missing in my life? Because I will absolutely devour a burrito.
I'm gonna put it in the Snacktendo part of the Discord.
Excellent. Y'all be sure to join the Boss Rush Discord if you aren't already.
Yes. Oh, that reminds me. I need to reset up our Twitch channel so I can put the Discord, the QR code on the thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Oh, dude. So Corey's eating a fatty burrito.
Dude, it was so good. I gotta tell you, dude, like the way that like everything kind of mixes together, because they don't, you know how Chipotle just like kind of throws everything on top and then they roll the burrito and then they send it out? No, they actually take the time to mix the stuff together. So you're not just getting a big bite of cheese or a big bite of rice or a big bite of whatever else. Oh, dude, I always ask for extra salsa so my mouth is on fire after every bite. It's so good.
It's Jacob. It's on our list when I come visit Corey to go. Just like whenever hoping to touch down soon. I gotta find out when I'll be able to touch down. But it is a place that we are going to go because I have to taste one of their burritos. Like I said, he sent me that. I was just like, that's a fatty, and I literally told him my mouth is watering.
I mean, it's just in the foil.
I'm seeing this on our Discord, on our Snacktendo channel right now, and I can confirm, like there's a soda pop root beer glass bottle in the picture as well, and it's like 3 times the size of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a massive burrito.
It's so big, dude. It's so good.
God.
Oh, but that's my snack of the week, man. Every time my wife asks me where I want to eat dinner, because Saturday's like our day where we're like, oh, we're gonna order in, we're gonna get something good, and she always asks me what I want, and the first thing out of my mouth every weekend is Casa del Rio. But I know I can't say that every weekend because she likes it, right? But like I crave it. I just crave it.
Yeah.
So I have to like play the game, and sometimes I don't get it, sometimes I lose, but the days that I win, are
beautiful. Excellent.
Anyways,
Jacob, what have you been snacking on?
Yeah, so for my Snacktendo, today I had a slice of triple chocolate cake, which was a chocolate cake base and then chocolate fudge icing like in between the layers and on top, and then sprinkled chocolate pieces on top. It was somebody at work's birthday. I don't even know who, to be honest with you. I just enjoyed the cake. And then I'm not sponsored, but because I love them so much and their products so much. I did pick up 2 new flavors of G Fuel this week. So I picked up Orange Cranthony, which is an orange and cranberry flavored G Fuel.
Ooh.
And it's very, very good, man. I like orange flavor a lot, but it has to be cut by something. I can't just drink like straight orange unless it's orange juice. And so this cranberry, kind of the tartness of the cranberry cuts through the sweetness of and citrusy flavor of the orange. And it's really, really refreshing.
It sounds like it's a smooth like taste to it.
It is. It's a very, very smooth taste for sure. And then I also picked up Love Bug. It's their Valentine's Day flavor. It's supposed to be tart candy flavor, but I actually haven't cracked into this one because I've been so obsessed with Orange Cranthony. So yeah, drinking a lot of that. Currently drinking it on the show. Again, not sponsored, but hope to be.
Why isn't this man sponsored by G Fuel yet?
It's all good.
Look,
it's all good.
I tried. I have a friend that works for Rogue Energy. I know that's not the same. I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm doing what I can. Let's...
It's okay. You're good. But yeah, I do. I snack on G Fuel 24/7, according to Aaron in the chat, and it's true. I do. I love.
Look, Aaron just snacks on Pokemon. Okay, that's. Let's be real here.
Well, before I get to my Snacktendo, shout out to Celeste for her 1-Up chocolates that she posted in the Discord chat. And yeah, you guys should join us on Discord and post your Snacktendos. We really love to see. Shout out to Shane.
Oh, sorry. We interviewed 1-Up chocolates on 1v1. You can check that out on Boss Rush Presents. It's good. It's a good episode. She seems very sweet and passionate about making these chocolates. It's very good.
Yeah. We have Joasis. She had a Hello Fresh meal and some leftover chicken. Really nice. Shane, who was like the snack master.
Yeah, Shane, come on. Save some for the rest of us.
He had a Spanish zucchini boat that looks delicious. He did noodles, which was homemade as sushi. Like it kind of looked like a ramen bowl that I believe that he made. So shout out to him with that. J Mart, he did Southwest Carnia asada with fries, which kind of had like steak fries. And then we kind of had a discussion about quiche. Is it quiche? Is it quiche or quiche?
It's quiche.
Quiche. I don't know why I say quiche. Quiche. Shane had one of those, and he posted a picture, and I've never had it. And then just seeing that fat burrito, that fatty. But for me, funny that you mentioned a triple chocolate cake, Jacob, because I had one Friday from my favorite family restaurant, and that mug was good. So it's a place called Full Moon that I love going to. I always get their cheeseburger deluxe every time I go there, or they stir fry vegetables. And on Fridays they do clam chowder, best, bomb big. And they were the lady was just like, would you like some cake? I'm like, what kind you guys have? And she's just like, we have this one, triple chocolate cake. Give me the triple chocolate cake. And she's just like, thank you. Because I think they get something off of it. And it was delicious. I think when I go back in, I'm going to ask her, you got some more of that cake? But literally everybody, my actual snack today for this week is that Rolos came out with a new flavor. They have dark chocolate sea salt caramel, and it's a Hershey brand. So if you know Hershey's taste of dark chocolate, you'll get that. And they sea salt caramel was really good. It really melts. It's something that you're just not supposed to bite and like chew. It's something that you're supposed to just let it melt together, and it's so good. I was just like, oh, I know Hershey's dark chocolate. They kind of got the best flavor about dark chocolate. And it was just so good. It's not a Valentine's thing or anything. It's just like literally one of their new flavors that they're doing. Because Rolos have been out for years. And I don't think they ever did any kind of flavor or anything else for it. So this is something like really new that they're presenting. with it. So I recommend if you see it and you like dark chocolate or you just want to be interested in taste it. It's not bitter. It really is not bitter because of that sea salt caramel sweetness. It's really really good. Just like so good. And then of course McDonald's got they they mint milkshakes out.
Shamrock Shakes.
Shamrock shakes, yeah. So I kind of had one or two of those. I had one for lunch. Yeah, because what happened was I had one for lunch before I got into work, and then the associate she seen me drink it, so she DoorDashed two of them, both of them largest, and she gave me one of them. So I was just like, oh, my stomach is going to get me for this one. But it was so good. It really was good.
Have y'all heard this air, land, and sea combo that's going around for McDonald's?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That sounds so disgusting.
It's like a Big Mac, but like the bottom layer is fish, the middle is beef, and the top is chicken, right? And like
yes.
That's
too much. It's way too much.
The middle layer being fish is the worst part about it.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
That's
like chicken and beef. I'm okay with that. I can handle that. The fish in the middle is the part that makes me go bleh.
Right.
Did I talk about the Long John Silver's I had?
Long John Silver's?
Week, I think you did.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it was really good. I think now because they were KFC, which I didn't know.
They've been with them for a while.
I guess they have, but normally with the KFC's combos and stuff, they normally have been like KFC and Pizza Hut, and I guess it's just like certain cities. Because Long John Silver used to be their own place. I didn't know they had teamed up with KFC, but
I mean, not to get into like all this extra stuff, but Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, Long John Silver's, and KFC are all owned by Pepsi.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why they get all the cool flavors in Mountain Dew.
Yes. That grape Mountain Dew is the bomb big. I think it's Mountain Dew Dark, and it's a nice grape flavor. So good. Everybody, that has been Snacktendo. We're going to get into Family News. Take it away, Corey. And everybody, shout out to Dan Murphy. He wasn't able to make it this week. He is on assignment right now, but he will be back next week.
But
on
Corey, assignment.
But Corey, you have Family News, so go ahead. Take it away.
Okay, so, guys, Family News. Our first headline. So, I know how you guys have been doing it, but I know like something we talked about was like maybe do like 2 or 3 huge stories and then the rest of it just kind of like fly through. Have you guys been doing that still or not?
No, we just been getting the news and having our discussions.
So I did it the way we were doing it on Arsenal X, where we have like headlines and then we have like a section called the wrap up where we just fly through some lesser stories. And then if anybody had anything
let's do it.
So I have 3 headlines here. Well, 2. It's like 1A and 1B and then 2. So
2.5 headlines.
Yes, 2.5. Thank you, Jacob. See? God, it's that big brain of yours. Pokemon Presents revealed Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Man, who knew we were getting new Pokemon games in November this year?
Yes.
Dude, oh my God. These games look so good.
Yeah. I'm
excited.
I'm like really excited for these for some reason. This past weekend, the Pokemon Company delivered a surprising Pokemon Presents presentation revealing 2 new mainline games entitled Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. These new games were revealed as gorgeous open world games. What that actually means, we don't know yet, but it may just finally be the game fans were hoping Sword and Shield could have been. The starters were also revealed, and as tradition dictates, they are grass, fire, and water types. Sprigatito is a capricious, attention-seeking grass cat Pokemon. Fuecoco, a laid-back fire croc Pokemon that does things at its own pace, and Quaxley, an earnest and tidy duckling Pokemon. what do we think about the starters, and what are our thoughts on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet overall? Jacob, I'm going your way first.
Oh,
Go.
God. No, Ed, you can go first, Ed. Go first.
No, go ahead, Jacob.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so listen, this is the first time that I've ever not known which starter that I want to pick.
Okay.
Like right away. Every other time I've seen all three of them and I'm like, that's the one. That's the one that I want. And it's usually the fire type one. There's a couple, there've been 2 generations where I didn't choose the fire one. But this time I was like, they're all perfect. They're wonderful. I love them. There's such great, like, weird fan relation arts to them where it's like people are relating Quaxley to Donald Duck.
Yeah.
More importantly, they're relating Quaxley to Donald Duck with Torchic being the red bird from the 3 Caballeros and Rowlet being the green bird. I forget their names. So like we have the 3 Caballeros in Pokemon. People are the cat. Everyone is so like, I think every single Pokemon fan in the entire community is like, just please don't make them anthropomorphic animals in their final evolution. Please don't ruin it. Which has led to, like, I've seen great photoshops of like all 3 of their little baby heads on Incineroar's body, which is like the worst of that. Oh man. This is so cool. And the only thing that I can say for like the open world aspect of it that they kind of announced was I really, really hope that if it's a true return to form for generations and it like the generations of Pokemon game and we have our 8 gyms and we have the Champion League and all that, I really truly hope that they will use a scaling system that just goes like, all right, you have 2 badges, all the Pokemon that you find are going to be around this level or under, right? And that you, the player, can decide what gym you go to first. Because if they take anything from Breath of the Wild, it's that when they release us into this world after we get our first Pokemon, they need to just say, go nuts. Like, we're not going to guide you. Just do stuff.
Like kind of have some linearity. Because like with Breath of the Wild, there was some linearity, but you could deny it and go anywhere. Whatever you want to do.
There was like a, hey, you should probably go check this out, but you don't have to if you don't, like, you can get back to it later if you want, and they need to do that. And I really truly hope, like, it seemed like from the trailer that they're keeping the Legend Arceus style where like you battle the Pokemon, but you could also just throw the ball while you're running around. Like that needs to stay so badly. That needs to stay.
This definitely looks like a mix of all 3 types of Pokemon that we've seen come to Switch at this point.
Yes.
Which is exciting to me personally.
It's incredibly exciting. Oh my goodness. I really cannot express how excited I am. However, my one complaint is that I pray that I can change the outfit of my character, because both of those characters are looking like they woke up on the wrong side of the fashion bed.
You don't like them? You don't like them cargo shorts? Them like Explorer cargo shorts?
Oh my god! It's like I personally like, you know, go for it. Wear the hot pants. That's cool, but at least make them fashionable. They're ugly. They're ugly clothes.
I think because it's like imitating Spain and stuff. I think when you get into town, there will be shops. Hopefully they do this for our different cities. When you get to different shops, there is options to buy clothes and change them. Because like that's kind of how like Sword and Shield was. You could change the clothes on your character. So I think that's going to happen for this one. I just think it should be open up to, if you want this kind of outfit and stuff, you should be able to go to this city to go get it. Or if you run into a chest or something, or you go into a house and stuff, maybe there's some clothes that's in there that you can find. Like make it somewhat still open world, but have some kind of RPG elements to it still. You know, I didn't have a problem with the outfit. I really thought when I seen the trailer, before Corey even texted me, when I seen the trailer, I first thought like, okay, this is really cool, really spooky. And at first it leaded up to Detective Pikachu, Detective Pikachu 2.
Yes.
But it was something when he got to the door and one side was blue and one side was pink. I was just like, okay, something is showing two different versions of something. So I thought just like he's gonna go in and bam, oh, Detective Pikachu. But then it got into Violet and Scarlet, and I'm like, oh wow. And then they showed the starters. I'm like, I need all of these. Everybody already want the plush. Like they're waiting.
Yeah.
They were just like, once the Pokemon Company released these as plushies, people are probably gonna buy all three. The Grand Freak and Pokemon Company about to make some buku bucks from this, you know. And of course, we're gonna have more directs throughout the year, and they're gonna probably show off new Pokemon. But wait till the fan art come out. The fan art is going to be bunkers.
Man, the fan art's already coming, man. It's crazy.
It is crazy. It's just like I didn't expect it to be that quick, and everything. I know Sprigatito.
Sprigatito. Yeah, like that.
Yeah,
that's probably not correct, but that's how I say it every time.
I'm calling him a Spriggy. So Spriggy, of course, grass. I'm always grass. Cat type. This is what picture in my head. You remember He-Man and that scared little cat that was with him? But when he powered up, he turned into like that big tiger. That's what I think he's going to look like. But then I also thought, I'm just like, what if he looked like a Thundercat from the cartoon Thundercats? I'm just like, I'm interested to see what they're going to do for his evolution.
I as cool as that would be, I really hope that poor little baby Sprigatito does not become anthropomorphic. He needs to stay on all four paws.
Yeah, I saw that tweet going around. It was like please let the cat stay on all fours or something. Yes. And it was like hashtag all fours or something.
There was one that they put tape over the paws and there was like Game Freak, paws stay on the ground. That's where they belong.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think he pretty is, because normally when they do grass types, if they start on all fours, they normally keep them on all fours. There's only about maybe one Pokemon, maybe one or two grass type starters that's actually have been standing up, but that's because of their design.
Yeah, and they start like Snivy. Well, weirdly, Snivy goes from having 2 legs to having no legs. So that's like the opposite. But yes, there have been very few that like didn't stand up from the get-go for grass types that did later on.
Yeah. And so I'm actually excited for this. I already know that if I had to go out, it would be the duck. It would be Quaxley. I got to get all of these names together.
So I always pick the fire Pokemon. Always. Always. But man, I want to pick Quaxley so bad.
To pick Quaxley.
I know.
Let your heart be your guiding key.
I know. And so like I've been playing a little bit of Pokemon Arceus, and it's just like it's kind of like this. I mean, it's kind of what I want, but not really what I want from a Pokemon game. It's still fun, like I'm still enjoying my time with it. But like this looks like finally we're getting like a new school Pokemon game that has like an old school feel, but feels like it's finally evolved. No pun intended. Yeah. Like it looks that way, and I'm like, I hope that this is exactly what people want, because then I will be extra excited.
I do too, man. I do too.
The crazy thing about this, it's another $120 that I'm spending because I'm buying both. And I really don't know. I think I'm not going to pre-order it. I think I'm going to walk into Best Buy, because what I noticed for Diamond and Pearl is that all of their pre-orders for the double collection was sold out. But when I went to go buy the games and stuff or pick my copy up, they had some in cases. So they may have some set aside to be like, if you come into the store, you can get your double pack. So I think I'm not going to pre-order this. I did agree with Corey because it does say it's late 2022. This probably is November's game.
Yeah, I mean, Pokemon always comes out in November, so I don't know why they would change at this point. That does make me... So, side tangent, I know we need to move on. But, like, looking at Nintendo's roster this year, I am even more convinced that Zelda's being pushed to next year.
I feel like Zelda's December.
No, they're not going to put Zelda out in December. It's just like, man, they have so much. They're bookending the year with 2 Pokemon games, right? And, like... Mm-hmm. Mario Rabbids and Bayonetta and Xenoblade and Kirby and Mario Strikers and Triangle Strategy and Fire Emblem. Like, stop, Nintendo. Like, save some for next year.
Well, it's going to be weird because I think by the time we get to the summer, Splatoon 3 is going to be the game rolling out.
Yeah. So here's my thing, and we're going to move on for this because I know we're on a tangent, but like, if Zelda comes out this year and on expansion pass, we were talking about if Zelda's November, what's their October game? Zelda's their October game if it comes out this year, because we put Bayonetta 3 in August, Xenoblade September, Zelda would be October and Pokemon would be November, unless they put Bayonetta in December and put Mario Rabbids in August.
And I switched it where I feel like Xenoblade is September, Bayonetta is August. Now that we know Pokemon is November, December would probably be a huge thing with Breath of the Wild 2, because it feels like, I will say this, depending on what Microsoft does, and the reason why I bring up
Nintendo's
Microsoft,
worried about what anybody else does.
I know that, but we didn't. Like last year, we didn't know what was going to happen because, Brain Age Academy and Advance Wars were the 2 leading games in December. So everything else got.
I mean, my only thought in October is putting Bayonetta in October is like it's such a niche game, right? I mean, it's not anymore, but I mean, it still is compared to all these other games and everything else that's coming out this year for other platforms. That October is like. I feel like you're going to miss with Bayonetta in October this year. That's my only thing.
Well, so Aaron in the chat pointed out that October makes sense because it's witches and Halloween.
I know. So... I get that, but they didn't do that for Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta 2 came out in September.
Yeah. And I'm just like, man,
Nintendo's not that smart.
September is just 1 month away.
I know.
But, I mean, and you think, did you drop 2 of the biggest RPGs back to back in the in the 2 months time? Like,
I mean, yeah, I don't know. This can all be a discussion for expansion pass some in the future episode.
I'm just gonna lead off that because I'm hyped thinking about this. That's why I'm bringing it up. I'm hyped thinking about what they could do.
I'm so excited and poor thinking about all the games that are coming out this year. Anyways, the headline 1B, I guess you would say, also revealed that the Pokemon Presents was Pokemon Legends Arceus version 1.1.0, which adds new requests which players can obtain after the credits roll. Eternal Battle Reverie? Did I say that right? Reverie? I
think.
New training ground battles and a new photography studio and much, much more. So it sounds like Pokemon Legends is getting a pretty significant update. So anybody excited for that? Jacob, I know you've played it on stream for a while.
Yeah, I beat Pokemon Legends Arceus, and I logged in to claim they did if you do mystery gift code Arceus Adventure, you get 30 of each of the best balls in that game. So I did that and saw the quests and was kind of like, because I'm working on it and I'm sure I'll get to it right away. But like that the fact that they're releasing Gen 9 this year tells me that like Arceus is either not going to have much DLC at all, or it's going to be not until next year to like breathe life back into Arceus.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of feel I thought Arceus for sure was going to get DLC and the next gen of Pokemon, like the next generation of Pokemon was going to come next year.
Mm-hmm.
That was my thought. But turns out did not. Ed, have you played Arceus at all?
I have played it. I'm got to return back on it. I had to stop to do the Dialect 2 review. But I am going to return back to it because I'm still seeing people enjoy that game and play it, and so I am going to do the update and everything and get ready for it. I just got to return back to it and stuff. I just put it to the side. I will say that I think we probably will get some DLC. We'll probably have to wait for the next Pokemon Direct, or unless it's E3 Nintendo Direct, because now the Pokemon Company controls their announcements and their content, not so much Nintendo anymore. So I'll be excited to see that we may see some DLC come to it, but it depends on. It kind of depends on when they decide to do it, because I think once the marketing stuff start rolling for Scarlet and Violet, I think Arceus is going to be put to the wayside, and they're going to be focusing more on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By the way, it's Reverie.
Reverie. See? Man. Good thing there's smart people in our chat. We just speak.
Yeah. Yep.
So, this was
incorrectly too.
Pokemon Legends Arceus was an impulse buy because I watched Galatrad stream it. You jerk.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
It was a good impulse buy.
It was. You'll
get into it. You'll get into it.
Yeah. I know. I just have a lot of other things on my plate right now. All right. Headline number 2. Nintendo has officially pulled Super Smash Bros. From EVO. As many have suspected since Sony's purchase of EVO from its controversial owner last summer to spruce up their esports initiative, Nintendo has officially withdrawn from the FGC's flagship tournament. Nintendo has been playing with the idea for a while, even partnering with Panda Global to hold their own tournaments with Splatoon 2, ARMS, and more. Now that it is owned by longtime rival, it makes sense that they would do so at this point. Nintendo has always marched to the beat of their own drum, and now it seems they will be aiming to once more with Smash. Ed, you texted me straight up and said you had a lot of thoughts on this, so I'm going to go your way first. What are your angering thoughts? Because that's the vibe I got from your text message.
No, I haven't seen no outcry that this is happening. I think people who, if they say something or they yell about it, it's just like, have you not paid attention to the news? You just mentioned it, Corey, that they're teaming up with Panda to do their own tournaments. So it doesn't make sense of doing that tournament and then doing it with EVO.
They've been streaming them too. I don't know if you watched any of their Splatoon streams on YouTube, but it's pretty entertaining. I mean, it's like very kid friendly, and I think some of it is actually on Disney XD, or it was at some point. So like they're really aiming for like a kid friendly type watchable tournament, which makes sense, right? It's Nintendo.
Yeah, and they already controlled their content for Smash to be like to allow EVO to do it, and I think once Sony brought them, Nintendo was just like, okay, we could pull it, because if you think about it, a lot of the games that they have at EVO is going to be on Sony's console. Smash would have been the only one outside of it, and maybe Killer Instinct, because I don't even think Microsoft is participating with it. I don't even think they have Killer Instinct with it.
No, but I mean, we talked about that on a recent episode of Arsenal X, where Microsoft seems to be in some sort of discussion with Bandai Namco to do a Killer Instinct. So
too,
yeah,
kind of, yeah. So I think Nintendo did the right thing because they got other plans for it. So it's not, to me personally, it's not a big loss. Not to the, it shouldn't be a loss to the Smash community or to the viewers. You know, Evo got some really great fighting games that people should look in. You know, maybe if it's interesting and they want to learn it, they could go and learn the games that they have. They got some really strong fighters. So I don't see what the upset is with it. Nintendo said what they were going to do with it. It's been done. There's no need for Smash Brothers to be at Evo anymore because Nintendo has a plan for this. You know, and I know they said maybe down the line, we would get Smash back, but the only way that's probably gonna happen is Sony's not attached to it anymore. You know, so.
I mean, I think Nintendo's always been detached from Evo to some extent. Anyway, right? Like they've always wanted to like distance their company from Evo, even though Smash has been one of the biggest games every year, right? And
yes,
I mean, Melee has just had its own little side thing at Evo every year, anyways, regardless of Nintendo sanctioned it or not. You know,
Yeah.
And you know, there's been some things happening within the Melee community, but that's a discussion for another day. But you know, I just think Nintendo's partnering with Panda and everything else they want to do. It just seems like this is probably the time to get out. You know, plus like Sony is really pushing a lot of things with their esports initiatives, and Evo is a recognizable brand. Sony wants to push their stuff, their partners. Street Fighter, obviously, I think.
yeah,
Whatever Street Fighter 6 ends up being will probably be some sort of headlining thing for that. So
right. The only thing I could predict, and then I'll give it to you, Jacob. If Sony is in good graces with Nintendo, I'm just going to use this for example, and you know, Smash is the next Smash, wherever Switch Pro or whatever is announced, and Sony goes to Nintendo to be like, how do we market your game at Evo, or what things you want to do? If Nintendo is willing to talk, because if they're willing to work with Microsoft, they should be willing enough to work with Sony. If they could get something done, I'm just saying, hypothetical. If they were able to come to some kind of agreement for Nintendo and Sony to show their Smash at Evo that year, I think it would be a big win for Evo and the players, not just Sony and Nintendo. But we don't know how that's going to look like in the future. So.
Yeah. I mean, I can just be real brief about this. This was very expected. Because Nintendo partnered with Panda, it just made sense for them not to participate in Evo anymore, whether or not Sony owned it. I do think that they could come back to Evo if the things with Panda don't really work out for them the way they want. But this overall is just the move. You know, it's just a business decision, and it's going to stay that way. And I'm looking forward to what Panda can bring to the table. I think it just gives us, similar to how, like, gamers benefit from there being 3 different systems to play on, right? We get exclusives, we get deals, we get things like that. The fighting game community can benefit from having 2 major tournaments happening instead of just one Evo. Because as far as I'm aware, and I'm not big in the fighting game community, but as far as I'm aware, Evo was the only tournament that was like the big one that everyone knew about. And so if Panda can get up there and get its name out there and just really, really become like this massive fighting game tournament, well, now you can have like a fighting game circuit where you can have people being like, oh yeah, I'm going to Evo, I'm also going to the Panda tournament, like, and just really benefit, like I said, benefit more from that. So I think it's good news all around. I think if anyone's upset about it, you know, people are just going to be upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So also 90% of the people that are going to be upset are just angry people on Twitter.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all the news, all the headlines we have. For the wrap up, there's a couple cool stories I wanted to mention. For you GameCube fans, Retrobit is releasing a revised set of component cables for the little purple lunchbox console. The cables will cost around $50 or $60, which is significantly less than the official Nintendo branded ones, costing upwards of $200 on auction sites. The company also has an HDMI adapter that specializes in anti-lag if you want to hook it up to your HD TV. So that's cool.
It would be.
I like the GameCube component cables, although my TV does not have a slot for component cable, so I would probably have to get the HDMI adapter. That HDMI adapter is like $100. So,
yeah.
But it does have a anti-lag kind of component to it, which is really nice. So the second kind of news bit here, Nintendo has improved Nintendo Switch Online's Nintendo 64 emulator, it seems. Nintendo has quietly improved the Nintendo 64 emulator with the release of Majora's Mask last week with version 2.0.0, noted by Twitter user Oatmeal Dome. This version appears to have many game configuration updates, even noting that the water temple room that was previously critiqued negatively has been completely fixed and the fog fully restored. So
this is one of those things that, again, like, should surprise no one. Nintendo is notorious for not allowing themselves to keep just a shoddy product out there.
Right.
So the update was inevitable. It might have taken a little bit longer than some would have liked, but you know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. I'm excited. I didn't get to the Water Temple in Ocarina of Time, but I didn't really notice anything, although it's been forever since I played the Nintendo 64 version of Ocarina of Time, so
yeah. I stand by my only complaint being that they need to release more of the Nintendo 64 controllers that you can buy, because I refuse to play with that weird up on the C stick is X and right is Y and left is down on the joystick. It's very strange. And I don't like it. I'm also
waiting. I would like to buy 2 of those, and I would like to buy 2 of the Super Nintendo controllers as well.
I think people are still paying attention to Nintendo of America on Twitter. And hopefully, if they do say something, hopefully by E3, that they be like, hey, we got some more in restock. You guys want to order? Go ahead.
Yeah. So that's all the news we have. I do want to give a couple shout outs from the website. I want to shout out Mark Pereira's review of Firewatch. It's a very good review. I want to shout out Ed's standard definition on the Wii U went out this week, so that was a very good episode. I really like the guest on that show. I forget what his name is. I'm sorry, I just didn't really mention it except at the very beginning. But I really enjoyed him. We need to get him on Pow Block at some point. And then Ed and I kind of did a revamped kind of expansion pass episode, which is going to show up on the Pow Block feed on Sundays, I think. So we're still trying to figure that out, but that's something we're looking into. And then I want to give a shout out to Dan's new featured segment called What's New Nintendo. It's an article that goes up every Monday about what's like some of the headlines of the week and what's coming out this week on Nintendo Switch. So check that out on bossrush.net. Very good article. Good job, Dan. Proud of you.
Yes.
Even though you're not here. It's fine.
And real quick, I'm going to commandeer the show to announce that the first secret code to comment on our pinned tweet at Boss Rush Network on Twitter is going to be hashtag Kirby Car Ride. That's KirbyCarRide. That will get you your first entry into the Kirby and the Forgotten Land giveaway if you comment that. And don't forget to listen to the next 2 episodes as well for the extra entries and those secret codes.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Is it weird that I'm like excited for a Kirby game? I mean,
No,
I know that everybody's excited.
Kirby. Hold on. Like,
I've already pre-ordered my copy.
Jacob stood up. Oh no.
I have so much Kirby merch.
Yeah.
I have a Kirby pin on my backpack that's holding a knife. like
wow.
He's just like ready to. I love Kirby so much, dude. All of his games are wonderful, and I will be talking about those games in our docked mode.
The only Kirby thing I have is I have a King Dedede amiibo from Kirby Star Allies.
Yes.
But that's because I couldn't find the Smash one, and I really wanted a King Dedede amiibo because when I play Smash, I'm always King Dedede because I think it's ridiculous that he's a giant penguin with a hammer. So,
did you know that he's voiced by Sakurai?
Is he?
Yeah, in Smash Brothers, Sakurai voices him.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I did not know that.
Oh wow.
Game Fact Advance.
I will say that I think ever since they showed the first trailer, people wanted the game, and now I think when the new trailer that they came out, because they got another one they just dropped, like it's the official trailer, I guess, showing more of the whole game and stuff and talking through it. People have been wanting this game, like I said, I got my pre-order already in, so I'm excited to play this game and experience what they have to offer, because I feel like they still got some secrets that we don't know about yet.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, all right, everybody, it's time for Doc Mode. Since we have a year before the 3DS and Wii U eShop closes down for good, I thought it would be a good time for another Power Block Top Games list. Now, Corey and I have a Top 25 Wii U episode, and I thought we never made a Top 10 3DS list. So, Elite Block Agents, are you ready for our personal Top 3DS games? Let's go! So, we got 10 games each for our personal list, and we also got the community from Discord and Twitter to share some of their personal top games of the Nintendo 3DS. So I'm going to start with you, Corey. What is your number 10?
Oh boy. Okay, so my number 10, a game that everybody should have on their list. Okay, it's the best use of 3D on the Nintendo or on the 3DS. Okay, a little game called Pushmo.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Love Pushmo.
Was awesome. It was like $5, I think, when it came out. And like it really, like, the cool thing about it, it's a puzzle game, and you move these blocks around and you have to try to get to the top of this like block kind of wall by pushing and pulling and kind of doing all these things with blocks. But the cool thing is that when you turn the 3D slider all the way up, it did a really good job of showing you which blocks were pulled out and which ones weren't. And I just think gameplay wise, the use of the 3DS is 3D and the gyroscope to some extent, it was just like, it's like the perfect 3DS game. So Pushmo, there's also Stretchmo and Crashmo, and I think Pushmo World is on the Wii U. But
yeah, Pushmo is fantastic.
Pushmo is awesome.
I feel like that's going to be E3 game. Like they're going to bring the series back or some kind of collection to Switch.
So. Gosh. I mean, we said that about Box Boy, and they brought it to Switch, so.
Oh, and I love Box Boy so much. I really do. I love that.
Maybe we'll hear about Box Boy later in the episode.
I really hope we're not totally the same list.
Well, Jacob, what is your number 10?
So my number 10 is Metroid Samus Returns.
Ooh.
I do think that if you're wanting to get into the Metroid series and you want to play the whole thing, this is absolutely the best way to play the second Metroid game.
Yes.
Do not play the Game Boy game.
Yes.
It's very, very different and awful, but good for its time. But I put this one at number 10 because, so I was mentioning this to Ed before the show, but this is like the easiest but also the hardest list I've ever had to make, because there are so many games that I would recommend as like, well, you have to have this, you have to have that. That one's a must buy. Oh, you got to have that one if you have that one. So, and like, it was just, I filled up my top 10 slots so quickly. And then I was just like, I don't know. I just had to let it be, because I was like, I guess there's too many games that I could recommend for the 3DS.
Yes. All right. So before I get into my number 10, I want to say this, everybody. I didn't pick no Nintendo games at all.
You're the worst.
And the reason being is,
no. Here's Ed's. When you tell Ed to make his top 10 list, he makes sure he picks games that aren't like, they're not even real games, and he makes sure to goes through everybody else's list, and he doesn't pick any games on anybody else's list because he wants to be different.
That's appreciated, Ed.
No,
that's appreciated.
No, your list is fake.
Well, this is real. So I didn't pick no Nintendo games, no Nintendo published games, neither. Like if a different developer did it, like Level 5 and Nintendo published it, I didn't pick none of those. So my number 10 is Zeo Drifter. And this is a kind of indie game. It's also on Switch and Wii U and other platforms. It was a game that Brian Altao Brian from IGN. He did the music for it, but it's kind of the short Metroid game where you just like you're in space, you fight all of these monsters, and you get like you get powerful, and when you beat the monsters, you get a new power. It's for the people who did goodness, what is that? Mutamuds?
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Because you get be in the foreground and hop back in the background and stuff, and it's like about 3 hours worth of game. But it's very challenging, and I remember playing this on the 3DS first and beating it and loving all of it. So Zeo Drifter is my number 10. Corey, what is your number 9?
All right, my number 9 is, I'm gonna say, Mario and Luigi Dream Team. I really enjoyed. I really like the Mario and Luigi series. I hope it comes to Switch at some point. It's like one of the only franchises we haven't seen on Switch yet, right? I mean, there's a handful, but it's one of the more popular ones that we haven't seen. And I just thought it was really funny. I think the writing is very good in those games. It's a very simple RPG, but also a really funny and fun RPG that I would recommend to anybody who's looking for something that's simplistic but feels like you're going to get a lot out of it. The characters are fun, and the fact that you're kind of like playing through some of Luigi's dreams, and it's just funny. It's just funny. I highly recommend this game to anyone.
All right. Jacob, what is your number 9?
Yeah, so before I do my number 9, I wanted to give a shout out to Ed. You asked a question on Twitter of the people following you on Twitter, what their top 10s are. And so I'm going to kind of go down those lists.
I have their list. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Never mind then. Sorry. My number 9 is Super Mario 3D Land. This is probably my favorite Mario game that is not Super Mario 3D World, which spawned from this. Super Mario 3D Land is like the solo. Oh, dude, it's so good. Super Mario 3D Land is the solo version of Super Mario 3D World, and it is fan-frickin-tastic, especially with the 3D on. There's a lot of great little references to different Nintendo games. It's just a crazy adventure from start to finish, and then you get to play through it all again as Luigi, which is a classic thing in Mario now. And it's 100%. You have to pick this one up. It's also, I'm pretty sure it's only $20 now because of the Nintendo Selects. So yes, absolutely.
It's actually like $14.99 on Amazon right now. So
even better.
Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
Well, my number 9 is Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies. This is the new chapter of Phoenix Wright when they actually brought him back after the original trilogy ended on the DS and Game Boy Advance. This one is a new story with and new mechanics for Phoenix Wright. And this has a nice anime opening with the courthouse blowing up. And they're trying to figure out who blew up, because they think it's this little girl who looks like a sunflower and everything. And of course, it's great writing, funny names, very intense court cases, and it's so good. Just like it's the first time that it's been like had this anime intro to it. So Phoenix Wright Dual Destinies, great game. Recommend everybody go get you a copy, or get on the eShop if you can. Truly wonderful. Hopefully Capcom brings these games to Switch also. But Corey, what is your number 8?
My number 8 is actually Super Mario 3D Land.
Yeah.
I don't really have much else to say than Galahad already said. It's just, I love 3D World, and I actually played 3D World first and went back to 3D Land. And played through it, and it's fantastic. It's almost just as good. The fact that I can't play it on my TV is the only reason I think why I like Super Mario 3D World better. And I think 3D World is probably a little bit better designed, but 3D Land is a must-have for. And I've been very open on the show that 3D Mario games are not my jam. I love the 2D games, but this does everything that I love about the 2D games and the things I do like about the 3D games, and just puts them in one package, and it's just awesome. I love it. I love it.
it was a day one purchase when it got announced.
Oh,
and
yeah.
when it came to my store, like I'm like, oh yeah, I have to have this.
Yeah.
Jacob, what is your number 8?
My number 8, when we're talking about must-own games on the 3DS, you cannot forget to mention Animal Crossing New Leaf. Probably the most highest rated Animal Crossing game in the entire series. I think New Horizons only beats it out because the Switch is just such a powerhouse right now. But Animal Crossing New Leaf did such a lot of great new mechanics for the series, and it just really honestly feels like coming home whenever I boot it up on my system again. It feels so. There are some things in New Horizons that are left out from New Leaf, and I wish so badly that they were not, because that game still had a lot of the great Animal Crossing character without having the customization that New Horizons offers. So I wish that they would mesh both of those up.
And I think the cards came out with it too, right? The Animal Crossing cards.
Yep.
Yeah. Them cards was beautiful. I really love those cards. We sold out quickly for them. Well, everybody, my number 8 is called Coda Princess, and this is a 2D kind of fighter. Up to I think up to 4 players you can. If you think of some of the treasure games with their beat 'em ups, this is kind of how it plays. A little bit like Final Fight and Golden Axe and stuff. And it's like an RPG, so you do level up. It's really fun. The problem with this version though is that it did have a lot of slowdown. But it's really a fun game. I truly love Coda Princess. So that's my number 8.
Did you get the Switch version, Ed?
Not yet. I need to get it though.
Yeah, there's a DX version on Switch if anybody doesn't want to bust out their 3DS. So
that's by Nippon Ichi Software, right?
I think so.
Atlas did it.
Atlas published it.
Atlas published it.
They
from
published it in the
3DS.
West.
Yeah. Studio Saizenzen
Huh.
had did it for it.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, because Nicholas published the Nintendo Switch version for it. So,
womp womp.
Yeah. So Coda Princess is definitely a great game. Corey, what is your number 7?
My number 7 is Box Boy, the cute little puzzle platformer that everybody should buy. It is $5. It is you're just this little box, and you create boxes to create your create ramps and stairs, and trying to get your way to the end. The challenge is that you need to use the least amount of blocks as possible, and at the end of each level you get a 3-star rating, and that depends on if you collect the crown, if you use the lowest number of squares possible. Anybody can run through the game and create as many boxes as you have and beat it, but the challenge of the game is going back and actually really doing it. So awesome.
I will say I love dressing my Box Boy samurai outfit.
Yeah, that's a cool thing too. Is you can unlock different outfits for your Box Boy, and then Box Boy, which is the sequel, introduces Box Girl, and you can dress them both up. And then there's 4 of them. There's 3 on 3DS and there's 1 on Switch, and I just highly recommend it.
In the third one on 3DS called Bye Bye Box Boy.
Yeah, because they were planning on it being the last one. Yeah. And then, but it wasn't. So
nope. Which is good, because that game series is great.
Yes, it's awesome. I highly recommend it. It's for all 4 of them, it's $30. So the Switch version has over 280 levels, by the way.
Oof, goodness. Nice. It's so good. So, Jacob, what is your number 7?
My number 7 is a pair of games. It is Pokemon X and Y. My personal second favorite series or games in the series, Heart Gold and Soul Silver being my first, because I just love the Johto region so much. But Pokemon X and Y definitely rekindled my love for Pokemon. I picked that game up on a whim because my friends were going to be playing it and I didn't want to get left out. And I ended up beating it before them. because I just like did not put it down. So yeah, Pokemon X and Y, excellent game, and deals with a lot of really heavy stuff too.
Yes. My number 7 is Dragon Quest VIII. And the reason why is this is my first and only Dragon Quest game that I ever beat it. Now, I did beat it on PS2, and I never knew that this game was going to come to the 3DS. But when Nintendo started getting the exclusive handheld games, like the future games in the series, when they announced that this was coming to 3DS, I had to buy it because great soundtrack, great writing. The voice acting is funny. And it's just such a good game to like sit down and grind in. If you need to waste some time or something, it's so good just to put your time in. Great story, love the characters. And you kind of understand why that character is in Smash. The Dragon Quest hero is in Smash. So yeah, Dragon Quest 8. If you can't find the PS2 version, this is definitely the one to go with. And if you get to play it on the go, phenomenal orchestrated soundtrack. You will literally just enjoy all the music that's in this game. So, Cray, what is your number 6?
My number 6 is Fire Emblem Echoes Shadows of Valencia. It's it's not as good as Awakening or Fates, but it does some pretty interesting dungeon crawling things, which is kind of new for the series. I think it's a remake of the second game, but they take a lot of liberties with that. I wouldn't even really call it it has the characters in the story, but that's about it. But it's got some dungeon crawling things and then some tactical. It's just really fun. If you're into Fire Emblem, but you want something a little bit different, not Fire Emblem Warriors, Nintendo. But if you want something different, this is awesome.
All right, Jacob, what is your number 6?
My number 6 is actually Box Boy, the entire Box Boy series. Just to piggyback on what Corey said from earlier, the only other indie game that has received an amiibo, I believe, is Shovel Knight. And everyone knows how great Shovel Knight is. And then Box Boy received an amiibo. So that should tell you everything you need to know about how good this series is and how much Nintendo actually believes in it.
I think the Box Boy amiibo is awesome.
Oh, it's so good.
It's just it's just a square.
Yep.
It's awesome.
It's like pre-Steve from Minecraft.
Yeah, but better.
All right, my number 6 is Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate. This is the 1.5 bridge between Castlevania Lords of Shadow and Lords of Shadow 2. This was Mercury's theme. This is their first kind of Metroidvania game that they designed. And yes, this game is also on Xbox. But I remember playing this game on the 3DS and loving every moment. Like, I have missed that old Castlevania feeling being on a Nintendo console or a handheld. So getting to play this game and seeing how Mercury Steam was able to design a Metroidvania and see what it actually led up to with your number 10, Samus Returns, and everybody Metroid Dread. It's just such a great game that it's very challenging. I will say that, very challenging, classic Castlevania, but it's a really great game to play. And I think it came out, it was like $30, but it like quickly dropped down to $20 with ease.
Yeah, it wasn't reviewed very well. That was the thing. People didn't like Lord of Shadow.
No.
I mean, I think that first one was like, a lot of people liked that first one. But then like the 2D game didn't review well, and the second one was just awful. And then retroactively, I think people really didn't like that first one because of the sequels. I still think that first one's pretty cool though. It's like Devil May Cry and God of War, pretty much. But like,
which is weird because Hideo Kojima, did Lords of Shadow. That's the weirdest thing.
Well,
So, all
right.
Well, Craig, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is Shovel Knight. I don't think I have to like really say how great Shovel Knight is, but I'm going to anyway. It is great. It is sad that only Shovel Knight is available on the 3DS, but the whole package, is available on Switch. Treasure Trove. Highly recommend it. Spectre Knight is the best campaign. But
Yeah,
Shovel Knight
Spectre Knight
overall
is very solid.
is awesome. I have my Shovel Knight. All of my Shovel Knight amiibo are up there. It's awesome. I love them all.
Yes. Jacob, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is Pushmo. We're staying in the indie game category here. Pushmo, kind of like, I mean, exactly what Corey said. If there's any game that is a inexpensive game for you to pick up, really shows off the capabilities of the 3DS, and is also just really fun to play, and just like you just zone out and solve puzzles. Pushmo is it, man. It's an incredibly cute little story. I can't sing its praises enough. I fell in love with it and ended up getting Stretchmo and Crashmo as well, and I cannot wait for it to come to the Switch. It will inevitably come.
I feel like it will.
All right. My number.
Mode.
I can see that name. I'm ready for that.
And it's all based around switches to pull the blocks out.
Yep.
Oh, we just wrote the game right there.
Yeah.
Like you go to pull one, but then like a different block pulls, so you have to figure out how the blocks got switched. Yeah.
Oh, Nintendo, that's free advice right there. You can
you
have
go.
that one.
Money in the
I
bank.
could just see the co-op in the online with different people checking the Joy-Con doing it. Like, wow.
Yeah.
My number 5 is There's a Rhythm Final Fantasy. Love this game. Everybody know I love some good music games. And just being able to play through the classic Final Fantasy series music with the tapping, going to different parts and, you know, attacking bosses, and just really enjoying that game and unlocking tracks. Really, really good. I wish this game would come to Switch. I really wanted to come to Wii U when it actually came out, but unfortunately it didn't. But There's a Rhythm Final Fantasy is my number 5. Corey, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is New Super Mario Brothers 2.
Ooh.
The coin one?
Yeah. I just really liked, I don't know, I was like obsessed with it for like 2 months, and I went through and I played it all. I thought how many coins there was ridiculous, and it was really stupid, but also really fun. I realize it's not the best game on my list. Far from it, I would say, but I think
it's
just
your game.
Just the amount of time I spent with it and how much fun I had with it. Yeah.
All right.
Agreed.
All right. Jacob, what is your number 4?
4 or 5?
4.
4. We did 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yes. My number 4 is Kirby Triple Deluxe and Kirby Planet Robobot. I'm cheating because both of these games are amazing, and you absolutely need to play them. You can play Kirby Planet Robobot over Triple Deluxe more, but Triple Deluxe is just so much fun, and I could spend hours and hours and hours in the DDD crash mode where you like play cymbals and drums and stuff as DDD. It's great.
Robobot was pretty good.
Robobot was amazing.
I never know how many Bobos to say.
Robo-bobo-bobo.
I feel like if I say 2, it's not enough, and if I say 3, it's too many.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
2.5. Robo-bobo.
Well, my number 4 is Bravely Default by Square Enix. This expired Octopath Traveler. This shocked Square Enix. It actually put them in the black with this game. They were surprised that it sold so many copies. And man, I love the game. I love the way that it was designed. But when they were just like, you could do as many battles as you want to. You can make it fast. The way that you attack and defend, how it plays on how you go about it, strategizing, and the bosses are kicking your tail. There's a twist to the game. There's some sim stuff to it. They put a lot of ideas, and it looks beautiful on the 3DS. I really enjoyed this game. But man, I put hours into this game, and when I felt like I didn't need to grind anymore, put that slider to 0 for enemies and just went through dungeons and was able to explore. I love that. I super love that. I'm like, this is what I've been wanting in some RPGs, where you have the options to engage in combat or not engage in combat at all and stuff. So when you need to get to a town so you can heal because you don't got that magic approaches, you were able to go and not have to worry about anything. So Brave Default is my number 4. Corey, what is your number 3?
My number 3, I'm going to pull a Jacob here, put 2 games here. The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask 3D.
Okay.
I feel like they're basically one package. I prefer Majora's Mask over Ocarina, but at the same time, these games are just these are the definitive versions of these games. I hope these versions come to Switch at some point. I doubt they will, but I want them to. These are the best versions of these games, and I highly recommend them to everyone. Everybody knows Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. This is the best way.
Yep.
Okay. Jacob, what is your number 3?
Along with Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, you should also buy Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. If you are a big fan of Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, you are absolutely going to need to play Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. This game is just way, way, way adorable. It's got a very unique mechanic with the becoming paper on the wall or becoming a drawing on the wall and going through like the wall to the low rule section of the game. And it's solid. It's like a return to form for the open world style Zelda games in the 2D style. So yeah, 10 out of 10 would recommend for Zelda.
Can I actually say that The Legend of Zelda is the only series that has captured Game of the Years the most on console and handheld? Because when Link Between Worlds came out, it was the Game of the Year for a lot of publications. It beat out everything. Yeah, Link Between Worlds became the Game of the Year.
I remember the big one was GameSpot gave it Game of the Year that year, and everybody was like shocked.
I don't doubt it for a moment. This game is great.
Yes. Come on, Nintendo, put that on Switch. I need that so much. My number 3 is Shovel Knight. Everybody already know why. I'm just gonna add that you could take this on the go and put your headphones on and just jam out to the music. Soundtrack is knocking on 3D.
Oh my gosh, dude! That theme song for Shovel Knight is like incredible.
Shovel Knight.
It's incredible.
It's great.
It is.
Oh, it's so good. Nothing gets you like pumped up for the day.
So I downloaded this version. It's like a remix, but it's incredible from DJ Cutman, who does like a lot of remixes.
Yes.
It's so good. Oh my god, it's so good.
Oh, and also everybody, reason why I love the 3DS version because it came with the digital soundtrack.
Yes, it did.
I love DJ Cutman. He knows how to make some good video game mixes. I didn't know that you knew about him, Corey.
Well, now you do.
Yeah.
Shout out to the entire label, Game Chops.
Hey, DJ Cutman, if you want to write us a new theme song, we would be very grateful.
And do our best to pay you. Because you're big time, and we are getting there.
Yes. I think he did.
You can come on our show.
I think he did one for Yoshi's Woody World that I just love. Like all he had to do was add some drum machines to it, and I'm like, yeah, this is about me. I love DJ Cutman. Well, we're gonna get into our number 2. Corey, what is your number 2?
Fire Emblem Fates is my number 2. I'm including all 3 versions in that game because so Fire Emblem is just this is where I fell in love with Fire Emblem. Like Awakening and Fates are the games that made me fall in love with Fire Emblem. As I'm aware, a lot of people would call that
but there's reason for that, right? Like it makes sense. There's no shame.
Yeah, I fell in love with Fire Emblem with Fates and Awakening. In Fates, I love the characters. I love the choices. I love if you own all 3 versions that like whatever you can say that Nintendo like was really begging for your money, but at the same time it was like if you have all 3 versions, it made the choices feel like they mattered, and it made everything just that much better. I think Fire Emblem Fates is probably Man, it's gosh, so good. Fire Emblem Fate's so good.
Yes. I think I have
love the
both
character designs too. Character designs in that game are awesome.
Can I tell you, I love the box art too.
Yeah. Birthright's box art is better than Conquest, but
true. But yeah, I really love that box art. So, well, Jacob, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. Monster Hunter Rise is absolutely the best way to play a Monster Hunter game right now. However, if you're wanting to take a look at what it was like before all of the like big game-breaking changes came to the Monster Hunter series, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate is the last place to do that. Monster Hunter Generations started the changes in the series, and then World continued it, and Rise continued it even more. So if you want to get a fresh and new core Monster Hunter experience, 4 Ultimate is the place to do it.
Shout out to Capcom for that 3DS Monster Hunter 4. I love that design. That mug sold out quickly when it came out, because I think that and Awakening dropped at the same time.
Possibly.
I think, or around that time. Wasn't it?
I think it was because I remember my friends we were like, I was pushing them to continue playing Monster Hunter, some of them, because some of them were playing the Fire Emblem game as well. So there was a little bit of a push, but inevitably they caved in because Monster Hunter is just that good of a series.
I might have to go do the Nintendo Directs. I think that's where people learned about Monster Hunter 4 was the Nintendo Direct, I believe.
Possibly. I do know that Monster Hunter 4 was the game that like made Monster Hunter more popular in the West than it was, and then World is where it like really exploded.
Yeah, because it's like that game sold quickly.
Yes, it did.
For it. Well, mine is Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. This was the new chapter before they did Dual Destinies and brought Phoenix right back. You took control of Apollo Justice as the new lawyer solving cases. And it was really funny, really good. He was in a red suit. And so I love, like I said, I love the Ace Attorney series. So when this one came out, I definitely had to have it because I had to know what happened to Phoenix right after the last game. And kind of find out he's been he's kind of been working undercover, and it's so good with it. Like I said, great cases, funny writing. Just really enjoyed Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. Now, before we get into our number ones, everybody, just like Jacob said, we did have people write in for it. So I'm going to start with our Twitter people. Bex gave our list. She said Ocarina of Time 3D, Link Between Worlds, Pokemon X, Majora's Mask 3-3, Pokemon Omega Ruby, Story of Seasons, Trio of Tiles, Monster Hunter Stories, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, Story of Seasons, and Hyrule Warriors Legends. Christian S said Link Between Worlds, Ethereum Odyssey Nexus, Pushmo, Pokemon Sun and Moon, Bravely Default, Metroid Samus Returns, Emerald Aces, Box Boy, Fire Emblem Fates, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, Pocket Card Jockey. I remember Pocket Card Jockey because that was on the 3DS, yes. Nindy Nation, shout out to him, and also check out Nindy Nation on YouTube. He had Final Fantasy Dare to Rhythm, Curtain Call, Smash 4, New Super Mario Bros. 2, Mario 3D Land, Samus Returns, Sega 3D Classic, Kid Icarus Uprising, and Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. Mountain Drew, he gave us 5. He said Ocarina of Time 3D, A Link Between Worlds, Super Mario 3D Land, Mario Kart 7, and Mario Luigi's Dream Team. So that has been the Twitter. On our Discord, GeekBro27 had A Link Between Worlds, Metroid Samus Returns, Mario 3D Land, Ocarina of Time 3D, Mario Golf World Tour, Pushmo, Kid Icarus Uprising, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, and Shovel Knight. Fairy Crit gave us Animal Crossing New Leaf Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer, The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, and Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Play Austin gave us Link Between Worlds, Persona Q, Kirby Triple Deluxe 3, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, Paper Mario Sticker Star, Mario Kart 7, Bravely Default, Mario Luigi's Dream Team, Kirby Planet Robobot, and Shin Megami Tensei 4. And Dave Wang gave us Fire Emblem Awakening, Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, and Pokemon Ultra Moon. JMart064 also gave us Animal Crossing New Leaf, Majora's Mask 3, Super Mario 3D Land, Pokemon Alpha, Sapphire, Fire Emblem Awakening, Xenoblade Chronicles, Mario Kart 7, Pokemon Y, Fire Emblem Fates, Birthright, and Pokemon Sun. So thank you, community. Thank you, everyone from Twitter who gave us their list and contribute to this question. We're going to get into our number ones. Corey, what is your number one?
All right, my number one. No surprise. I don't think. Might be a surprise to you. But my absolute number one is Fire Emblem Awakening.
Yes.
I love Fire Emblem Awakening. I bought it because what came out? Codename Steam we ended up getting first. And I was like, man, I want a strategy game, but I don't really know if this is it. And I was really into what was it at the time? Valkyria Chronicles at the time. I was like, I just want something that's like simple but methodical and whatever. And then we got Fire Emblem Awakening. I was like, oh man, Fire Emblem Awakening. Let's do this. And I started it and I couldn't put it down. I love Chrom. I love Robin. I absolutely love Lucina. Right, it's like I went to the Nintendo World Store and bought her amiibo. Is like that's
nice.
Like I just love the characters. I love the relationships. There's some pretty goofy characters in there too, right? Like Kellum, I think his name is. He's like this big like hulking knight character. He's kind of like weird, but what?
So there's a character named Frederick.
Yeah,
he is a knight character. He has the best line that I've ever heard in all of anything ever, which is when he attacks and gets a crit, he says, "Pick a god and pray."
That's so awesome.
I love it. He's like, I don't even care who, just pick a god and pray. And oh man, and you heavily rely on Frederick early on in the game because he's so strong. So it's just he's such a great. Oh man, he is a word that I cannot say because he's so cool.
Aaron in the chat says Lucina is Corey's waifu, and I will neither confirm nor deny.
I will also confirm that Lucina is my waifu.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I think the characters are great, and I just would, if you're gonna play a Fire Emblem game that's not Three Houses, like this is the one you start with. I think that this game is awesome. I have gone back to like Shadow Dragon, and I tried to play the Game Boy Advance one. I think it's just called Fire Emblem, but it's not like the first Fire Emblem that I'm aware of. I think it's like the third one technically, but
yeah, I think so. I think it's Fire Emblem and the Sacred Stones on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. So, I just think the 3DS is where you start, and Awakening is so good.
The story, that story and the characters, man, I just truly love. Yeah. A good choice, Corey, man. Nah, dang it, I really want to revisit Awakening. It's kind of like the perfect Fire Emblem game. Like it's a 10/10, top tier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Three Houses is wonderful, but
yes,
Awakening.
Yes.
Awakening was a lot of people's Fire Emblem Awakening.
Ooh, look at you.
Yeah.
Well, Jacob, what is your number one?
Let me tell you. Okay, before I get into this, I have to give an honorable mention of my own to Street Pass and all of its features.
Yes.
Because The Street Pass thing. If there was any one thing that I could bring to the Switch, it would be Street Pass. I love it. I love all of the mini games. I bought every single one of them. I collected all the hats. I love that feature so much. I would spend days off just driving around to all of the spot passes and gathering up amiibos, or not amiibos, Miis, gathering up Miis. I absolutely love Street Pass. It needs to come back. I really, really miss it, and I want it in my life again. I'm going to be very sad when it's like all said and done and it's just gone forever. But like, man, nothing cheered me up from a bad day than pulling out my 3DS and seeing that little green light that you like Street Pass people. Love it.
I used to carry that. I used to carry that toys all the time.
Yeah, dude, it is so good. But that's an honorable mention because my number one, let me tell you about a little game called Fantasy Life.
Oh my
gosh.
Fantasy Life. This was a game that I picked up on a whim because I was like, you know what? This is cute. This looks like it could be fun. 600 hours later.
Oh my gosh.
I had maxed out 2 of the classes that you can be. I love this game. It's from, I think, level 5. If you like Harvest Moon, if you like Stardew Valley, if you like Rune Factory, if you like Story of Seasons, if you like Animal Crossing, if you like Diablo, if you like Monster Hunter, if you like Legend of Zelda, you need to play Fantasy Life. It is so good. It's got multiplayer functionality. Oh my god. It's if you like video games, as Aaron says in the chat, you need to play Fantasy Life. You will be doing yourself a favor, and it is so cute that you just can't help but smile.
All right. Yes, I have Fantasy Life. Really enjoyed that game.
Mm-hmm.
So my number one, no one is going to expect this game. People probably never heard of it, but I'm going to let you know. It's called Project X Zone. And it's a crossover tactical role-playing game for the Nintendo 3DS developed by Monolith Soft with assistance from Capcom and Red Entertainment and published by Namco Bandai. The game is a follow-up to the 2005 video game Namco by Namco Cross Capcom. It features characters from Namco Bandai, Capcom, and Sega. The game was released on October 11, 2012 in Japan and June 25, 2013 in North America. The game received, kind of mixed stories, but it's a strategy game where you pick these different characters and you battle these bosses, taking turns and stuff. So you can have like some of Bandai Namco's like Pac-Man, and you would team them up with Phoenix Wright and Sonic the Hedgehog, and y'all would go at it. And and it's just like they will always change up the story. But because you had Bandai also, you got Bandai's anime characters into the game too. Those anime characters with Mega Man and some other people, like, it was so good. It's so funny. The writing is, and they always switch it up for different levels. And it's a tactical RPG, so it's really fun. You guys can check out the video if you want to see more of it. But Project X Zone is my number one. Guys,
wow,
that was a great list.
There's some good games on that list.
Yes, there are.
Yes. Yes.
I almost put Mario Kart 7 on my list, but the fact
I
that
always forget that Mario Kart 7 exists.
I know, I do too, but I think it's because Mario Kart DS is so much better. Mario Kart DS, by the way, that game, that's a great Mario Kart game.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I would have put Smash if I was including straight Nintendo games, because I played Smash 3DS, Wii U on 3DS, and when it came to playing Smash on Wii U, I will always connect my 3DS to play the game as a controller.
You're strange. That's okay.
That is very strange, actually.
I
only did that one time, and it was because we realized we didn't have a controller that would work.
Oh wow! I was so used to. So my Pro controller was I was using it for Wii U, but that was more for like Bayonetta and Xenoblade Chronicles X and Super Mario 3D Land. 3D World. But something with Smash, I think because I played so much of the handheld version before the Wii U version dropped, I just got so used to it. And fighting with Samus is my main. Zero Suit Samus is my main in Smash, and I just got to learn her during the 3DS. So that's why when I started playing it on the Wii U, I couldn't do the gamepad or the Pro controller. I had to use the 3DS in order to do it.
That's fair.
So, but everybody, we're gonna get into playing with power. Corey, what have you been playing with power?
Well, I have been playing Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition.
Yes.
I was started playing 2, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna play 1 first. I know that there's like that epilogue that connects the 2 games, but I just want to play 1 first because I want to play the 3 games that are out before 3. I just want to play them. So I've been playing that. I'm about 3 hours in. It is a beautiful game. I forgot, like, because I haven't really played it since the Wii, you know? And so, like, I kind of forgot a lot about it, except for, like, I knew that, like, Fiora was kind of like this charming little, you know, girl who's, like, trying to take care of everybody. And I know that Shulk is, like, a scrapper, right? But, like, I just kind of forgot about everything, you know? And so just kind of revisiting the world and the characters and stuff has been really fun. And I think I'm playing on casual mode because I'm not going to sit there and learn the battle system. Okay. I'm a casual. I don't care. You can make fun of me all you want. But I love the characters so far. I love where the story's at, and I'm excited to play more. I'm also still dabbling in Samus Returns. I'll play for like a half hour and not die and feel really good about myself, and then I'll turn it off.
Oh, you mean Metroid Dread?
That's what I said. What did I say?
Samus Returns.
Oh,
that's fair.
I meant Metroid Dread. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Metroid Dread.
Yes.
But
Jacob. Go ahead. Corey,
I mean, not that it really matters on this show, but I've also been like neck deep in Destiny 2 because of the Witch Queen. So it's pretty good.
The Witch Queen has been really good. A lot of people have been loving it.
It's Bungie's best campaign ever, I think.
Yes. Oh, thank you for that video that you told me to check out for the
Bife.
Witch Queen.
Yeah, my name is Bife.
Yeah.
All your Destiny content you'll ever need to know the story, it's right there. There's like 3,000 hours of video there.
I watched the whole thing, and I was just like, "Who? She was something.
Yeah.
She was cunning."
Yeah. Well, yeah, she's the goddess of deception. So, yeah. If you are a Destiny fan, I highly recommend watching My Name is Bife's Dynasty fan-made lore video. It's all animated by him and his team, all handcrafted assets. It's a great video. Highly recommended.
And I love his voice, his narration voice. I'm like, "Oh, yeah, this is
great
good."
British speaking voice.
Yes.
Indeed.
Jacob, what have you been playing with power?
Yeah, so I returned to Pokemon Unite this week to try out Hoopa, and I picked up Aegislash. I'm working on getting through all of the ranked season for this season. I've been slowly but surely working on completing 100% of Pokemon Legends Arceus. So in order to do that, I have to max out the Pokedex entries, which means for me, I've been doing 1 entry a day so as to not burn myself out too much. I finished Witchwood this week. Witchwood, once again, thank you to Whitethorn Games for providing a code for me. I would absolutely recommend this game to anyone who's looking for just like a chill gathering style game where you solve puzzles with the items you gather. It's a very cute fantasy story and features a lot of like fairy tale aspects. But it's super, super chill. Like so much so that when you're in combat, which there's barely any combat at all, and you don't have to be in any combat. But when you get hit, you have 3 heart points, but when you get hit, you get launched like a meter away. So they can't hit you again right away. So you can like recover and chill and go like run away. It's very, very, very easy. And just very sweet and fun. With a lot of good laughs. The witch is very sassy. And then this week, I'm going to be starting, because the Otter Kingdom requested it in our poll. The next game that we're going to be playing on my stream is Yoshi's Crafted World.
Yes!
Yeah. So,
Yes!
so I'm gonna be starting that tomorrow. I picked that game up when it first came out, played like 3 levels, and then never played it again for some reason. I don't know why.
You had to play that game. Shout out to Corey. Shout out to you, Corey. Thank you for helping me with the review. For it. This is our
first the review like 4 years ago.
Yes, but it was a effort. Like we both combined the effort to do it, and you hooked it up.
Yeah, I'm very excited to get into it. 2022 is my year of beating every single game in my backlog, so that I go into 2023 totally fresh. So this is the start of, this is like the middle of that. I'm working on it. So yeah, very excited to play Yoshi's Crafted World.
There's one particular level I cannot wait till you get to, and you stream it and everybody sees it. People who know me know what I'm talking about, but and I don't want to spoil it for you because it's at least a little bit later on in the game, but you're going to be like, this is so well designed and it's going to make you laugh. It's outright going to make you may pause and end up laughing on stream about it. So I would say that.
I'm excited.
Yes, I love Yoshi's Crafted World so good. Well, is that everything, Jacob?
That's everything for me, Ed.
Okay, so I started up Voice of Cards to Forsaken Maiden. Just played a little bit of it. It's still the good old Voice of Cards combat. I can't wait to get to more into the game. The narration is different. It's a different narrator from the first game. Kind of in a weird way, the person who's narrating this game sounds like the narrator in the Nintendo Direct. I'm like, is this the same person? I'm like, wow, he's doing a good job. It's fine and stuff, but I think I just gotta play more and find out what the story is. I haven't started my Majora's Mask yet, but I will be starting that soon, starting next week, so I could, really get into doing my 40-day blog for you guys to read later on. I'm excited to play it and everything. I'm glad that the update has happened, so now I could get into the game and not really worry about any problems. I want to see how it plays with the Pro Controller, and if it is cumbersome, I'll still pursue through. But I'm gonna be like, yeah, I need this N64 controller with it. Side game that I play is Horizon 2. Horizon the Forbidden West. Really enjoying that game. Just like it's getting very challenging, but it's only because I'm still in the beginning of the game and I still gotta craft and update my stuff and get a little bit stronger. But the side quests have been good. There's a lot of diversity in this game, and it looks like the plot is going to be going to be all over the place, because it feels like there's a lot of villains and factors that's into it, that's added to this game that I'm going to be interested to see how everything gets resolved. So I cannot wait to play more of it. And I've already seen part 1 of his twist, and I will not spoil it. If you're on a PlayStation 4 or 5, I do recommend getting this game. So that's been it, everybody. Playing with Power. We're gonna close out the show. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Jacob. Where can we find you guys? Jacob, where can we find you?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Galutrad. That's Galutrad.
And Corey, where can we find you?
You can find me at I am Corey in HD on Twitter and Instagram. And you can also find me hosting the Boss Rush podcast every Monday on your podcast service of choice. We're also live on Wednesday nights if you want to hang out with us live in the chat. As I know, Palblock gets all these cool chatters, and then, we just get lurkers. So, it's fine.
Shout out to the lurkers, though.
Yeah.
Y'all make Twitch what it is. So thank you so much for lurking.
Yes. You guys can find me on Twitter at @RetroCode. You can find more of Nintendo Power Block on Boss Rush Network and our YouTube channel, Boss Rush Network. Find us also on Discord. Come follow us there and chat it up with us. We would love to know what you're playing, what snacks, your list, what games that you guys are getting into. And if you love to write, join our writing team. We have opportunities there also. And if you want to join us on Patreon, Corey, where can they find us at on Patreon?
You can go to patreon.com/Boss Rush Network, and just for $1, you get After Dark 2 weeks early, you get Standard Definition 2 weeks early, and you get the Boss Rush podcast 3 days early for just $1.
Yes, and there's other tiers to it, guys.
There are.
Also, yes. And also check out our merchandise that you guys could proclaim if you want to support Boss Rush also in that way. Got some new stuff for Arsenal X, Crossroads, Nintendo Power Block, and other podcasts.
You will very shortly see Elite Block Agents shirts. You will very soon see Power Block 300 shirts popping up. So, very excited.
Yes. And I think I just said you can find me on Twitter at @RetroCode. Yes. Hopefully I did say that. If not, you can find me there. But everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend. And we will see you next time on Nintendo Power Block. Also, check us out on our Twitter page so you can enter into the contest. But everybody, we'll see you later on Nintendo Power Block. Bye. Woo-hoo!
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Pal Block Podcast, the flagship Nintendo podcast of Boss Rush Network. Do you need even more gaming and entertainment in your life? Head over to bossrush.net where you can find news, reviews, creators, podcasts, and more focused around the content you enjoy.